My name is Daniel. I'm 32. I work the kind of office job that makes you forget what day it is. And I used to believe that wrong place, wrong time was just something people said when they didn't want to admit they made a choice. Last winter, I learned it can be literal. I left work late on a Friday, late enough that the building's lobby looked like an aquarium after closing. Dim lights, polished floors, my reflection following me like a second person who knew more than I did. Outside, the city felt colder than it should have, not just temperature, like the air had been drained of something human. People moved faster, fewer laughs, more scarves pulled tight, more hands shoved into pockets, more eyes down. I should have taken my usual route home, bus to the main station, train to my neighborhood, 10 minutes of walking past lit windows and the smell of someone else's dinner. But my phone buzzed with a message from my friend, Miles. Miles, you coming? We're waiting. You said you'd show. I'd promised him I'd come to his new place and help him hang shelves. He'd just moved in after a breakup, and I could tell from his texts that he didn't want shelves, he wanted noise, a human presence, proof that the world wasn't all empty rooms and echo. I stared at his message for a while, thumb hovering. I was tired, my head hurt. The idea of carrying a toolbox across town at 11 at night made me feel older than 32. Then came the second message. Miles, don't flake, please. That please got me. It wasn't dramatic, not begging, just honest. The kind of honesty you don't use unless you're alone. So I turned, walked past the normal station entrance, and followed my map app's suggested shortcut to the faster route. It led me under an overpass I'd never noticed before. There's a certain kind of place in a city that looks like it doesn't belong to the city anymore. A stairwell half hidden behind a billboard, a tunnel mouth with old graffiti layered like fossils, a door in a wall that might have been a service entrance or might have been something else. The shortcut dumped me into one of those places, an old stairwell leading down, metal handrails slick with damp, a sign above it, faded, peeling, still readable if you stared. West Ridge platform, temporarily closed. I laughed under my breath. Temporarily closed felt like a lie told years ago that no one had bothered to correct. But there were fresh footprints in the snow near the stairs. A few, not many, like someone had been here recently. My phone map app insisted the station was open, a bright blue dot, pulsing arrow, proceed. I told myself it was probably a maintenance shortcut locals used. Cities are full of that stuff, unofficial paths, half-legal routes. Don't worry, it's fine. I also told myself I didn't want to walk 20 minutes the long way in the cold. So I went down. The steps swallowed the street noise almost immediately. The deeper I got, the quieter it became, until all I could hear was my own breath and the soft rhythmic clack of my shoes on the metal. At the bottom was a corridor lit by old fluorescent tubes. Some flickered, giving the hallway a broken heartbeat. There were posters on the wall, not the clean modern kind, but printed paper, glued in layers, edges curling. Live music, Saturday. Lost cat, please call. Public notice, route change. The faces in the ads looked wrong, not in a grotesque way, in a dated way. Hairstyles and fashion that belonged in old photos, fonts that felt nostalgic even if you couldn't place the year. I kept walking, and the corridor opened into a station platform. It was empty. No commuters, no security, no maintenance workers. Just a long strip of concrete, a dark track, and a single bench under a buzzing light. A digital display hung above the track. It was on. The display read, "Last train, 1:11 a.m., on time." My phone said it was 11:47 p.m. I looked up and down the platform. At one end, there was a stairwell going up, blocked by a metal gate. At the other, the platform curved into darkness. Slow, creeping unease crawled into my stomach. I told myself I could just go back the way I came. Then I heard it.
A sound like a distant engine far down the tunnel. A train. I felt relief sharp it embarrassed me. Of course, I'd overreacted. It was a station. It had trains. It wasn't haunted. It wasn't a portal. It wasn't... The tunnel wind hit, cold and stale. A smell of metal and old dust. The light above me flickered harder. The digital display blinked once and the time changed. Last train, 12:11 a.m., on time. I frowned. That wasn't how schedules worked. I stepped closer to the track edge and squinted into the tunnel. A pair of lights appeared, small and far away. They didn't get bigger the way train headlights should. They just hovered. Then the lights went out, and the tunnel went silent again, as if it had never been anything but a hole in the earth. My phone buzzed again. Miles, everything okay? I typed back, yeah, taking a train. The moment I hit send, my phone screen dimmed, like it couldn't decide how bright to be down here. The signal indicator dropped to 0, then returned. 0, then returned. I shoved my phone into my pocket and sat on the bench. Waiting felt safer than moving. That should have been my first mistake. Time does weird things when you're alone in a place that isn't meant to be alone. After a while, you stop measuring minutes. You start measuring breaths, flickers of light, the number of times you check your phone even though you already checked it. My phone said 11:52, then 11:52 again, then 11:51. I watched the screen like it was doing a magic trick, and my heart began to beat faster. I stood up and walked towards the corridor. The fluorescent hallway was still there. The stairs up to the street were still there. But now at the top of the stairwell, the faint slice of streetlight had changed. It was dimmer, yellower, like an older kind of light. And when I reached the top, the metal gate that had been open before was shut. A padlock hung from it, big, old, heavy. I stared at it, confused. My hands went cold. I rattled the gate. It didn't budge. "Hey," I called stupidly. "Hello?" My voice came back to me, thin, swallowed by the stairwell. No answer. I backed down the stairs, heart pounding, and returned to the platform. The digital display now read, "Last train, 1:11 a.m., on time." I checked my phone, 12:07 p.m. That at least made sense. But when I turned back to the display, it changed again, like it had been waiting for me to look away. "Last train, 12:11 a.m., on time." My mouth went dry. I did the next rational thing. I walked to the other end of the platform where it curved into darkness. The wall there was stained, damp, old tile cracked like teeth. A sign above the curve read, "Do not enter, service access only." And below it, scratched into the tile, someone had carved words with something sharp. "Don't wait." The letters were deep, angry. I stood there, staring, and felt a cold pressure behind my eyes, like a headache forming. Something moved in the tunnel. Not a train. A shape, a person-sized darkness, stepping between the shadows where the lights didn't reach. It was too far to see details, too far to be sure. But it stopped, just inside the curve, just barely visible, like it wanted me to notice. I backed away slowly. My shoes squeaked. The shape didn't move. I turned and walked fast back to the bench, pretending this was normal, pretending I wasn't suddenly terrified of the dark curve of a tunnel that was supposed to carry trains, not people. My phone vibrated again. A new notification. No signal, but still a notification. It was from my map app. Route updated. You have arrived. I stared at it. Arrived where? Then my phone screen changed on its own. A new message appeared. No sender name, no number, just a blank line. "You're early." My blood went cold. I didn't type. I didn't even breathe for a second. Another message appeared. "Wait for 1:11. My hands started to shake. I stood up and scanned the platform. Empty. Except, no. There was someone at the far end now. A man standing under a flickering light near the curve. I hadn't seen him before, I was sure of it. He wore a dark coat, no hat. His hands were in his pockets. His face was in shadow. I couldn't tell if he was looking at me or past me or at nothing at all. I called out, voice hoarse. "Hey, is this station open? Do you know how to get out?" He didn't respond. He took one slow step forward. My body reacted before my mind could. Fight or flight. My heart slammed. I walked backwards towards the corridor, not turning my back on him. He didn't rush. He didn't chase.
He just kept stepping, slow and steady, like time belonged to him and he was in no hurry. I reached the corridor stairs and climbed fast, grabbing the rail. The gate at the top was still locked. I rattled it again, harder now, desperation making me stupid. "Help!" I shouted. "Someone, please!" No answer. The man's footsteps echoed behind me, closer now, slow, patient. I turned. He was at the bottom of the stairs looking up. Now I could see his face, or parts of it. His skin was pale. His eyes were too reflective in the fluorescent light like an animal's. His mouth was slightly open, not smiling, not frowning, just slack, like he'd forgotten what expressions were for. He spoke, and his voice sounded like it had come from the tunnel, stale, distant, layered. "Wrong place." I swallowed. What? His head tilted, just a fraction. "Wrong time." The light flickered, and for a second, just a second, his face looked older, not aged, but worn in a way that didn't match his body, like the same person seen in different decades. Then the light stabilized, and he looked normal again. My phone buzzed in my pocket. Another blank message. "You can still catch it if you stop running." The man took one step onto the first stair, and I finally understood what the graffiti meant. "Don't wait." I bolted. There's a panic that comes from being trapped in a place that should have exits, a place built for flow, for movement, for crowds. When it's empty and the doors don't open, it stops being infrastructure and becomes a cage. I ran down the stairs back to the platform because there was nowhere else to go. My brain screamed at me that I was doing the wrong thing, but there was no right thing. I sprinted along the platform away from him, toward the curve at the other end. The tunnel air felt colder there, the darkness thicker. I could hear him behind me, not running, not hurried, just walking, the steady pace of someone who didn't need to try. As I ran, the platform lights flickered in sequence, one after another, like a wave following me. The digital display above the track blinked and changed. Last train, 1:11 a.m., on time. My phone screen turned on inside my fabric. It buzzed again and again, vibrating like a trapped insect. I yanked it out and looked. Dozens of messages, all blank sender, all the same. "Wait, wait, wait, wait." Then one different line. "If you miss it, you stay." I looked up. The tunnel lights, if you could call them that, were faint. Emergency lights, spaced far apart. The curve swallowed them. But beyond the curve, there was a faint glow, not from the platform, from deeper in the tunnel. A doorway. That made no sense. There shouldn't be doors inside the tunnel wall. But there it was, a rectangle of dull yellow light, like a room beyond it. I slowed, breath ragged, staring. The air carried a sound from that doorway, soft, muffled, familiar in the strangest way. People, voices, a laugh, music? My skin prickled. I didn't want to go toward it. Every instinct screamed trap. But the man behind me kept walking. His steps had gained something now, an inevitability, like he was closing a gap in a schedule.
The stones shifted under my shoes. The air down there was colder, heavier. The wall loomed. The tunnel swallowed sound. I moved toward the lit doorway. Behind me, the man's steps stopped. I turned my head slightly. He stood at the edge of the platform, watching me like you'd watch someone step into traffic. He didn't follow. That terrified me more than if he had. I reached the door. It wasn't a maintenance door. It was old wood, chipped paint, brass handle worn by countless hands. There was a sign nailed to it. Westridge, employees only. I grabbed the handle. It turned easily. Warm air breathed out at me, and the sound inside became clear. A party. A New Year's party. Someone counted down faintly, laughing. 10, 9, 8. My blood ran cold because my phone said 12:09 a.m. and the voices inside were counting down to midnight. I pushed the door open. The room beyond was small, like an employee break room frozen in time. Yellowed walls, a corkboard with old notices, a table with plastic cups and cheap snacks. A string of paper decorations hung from the ceiling. Happy New Year, but the letters were faded, uneven. There were people inside, maybe 10 of them, men and women, different ages, wearing coats and party hats, clutching cups like anchors. They all turned to look at me at once. Their faces were wrong, not in a monstrous way, but in the way a photograph looks wrong when it's been left in sunlight too long. Pale, soft-edged, like they weren't fully here. One woman near the table smiled too quickly, too brightly. "Oh, you made it," she said. I stared at her. No, I'm sorry, I'm lost. The station." The room erupted into nervous laughter like I'd told a joke. "Lost," a man echoed, amused. He was wearing a suit that looked like it belonged in an older decade. Wide tie, sharp collar. "Yeah, that's what we all said." I took a step backward. The door behind me had closed on its own. The handle was still there. I grabbed it and pulled. It didn't move. The laughter faded. The air changed. The woman's smile softened into something that looked like pity. "Don't," she said. "If you fight it, it hurts more." My throat tightened. "Where am I?" She looked at the decorations, at the cheap paper snowflakes taped to the wall. At the wrong party, at the wrong time. My stomach dropped. A man in the corner spoke, voice hollow. "What year did you come from?" I stared at him. "What?" He nodded toward my phone. "Your time. What year is it out there?" I swallowed hard. It's this year. I said the year. The room went quiet. A couple people flinched like I'd spoken something painful. That's so far," someone whispered. The woman took a slow breath. "Okay," she said. "Okay, listen to me. You have a chance." "A chance at what?" I asked. She looked at the clock on the wall. It was one of those round clocks with black hands and a yellowed face. It read 11:58. "Getting out," she said, "before it notices you." My heart raced. "Who? The man on the platform?" Her face tightened. "Don't call it a man." The lights flickered. Everyone in the room stiffened. The woman grabbed my wrist. Her hand was cold as stone. "You came through the tunnel door," she whispered. "That means you're not locked in yet. You can still catch the last train." My phone buzzed again. A single message appeared. 1:11. I shook my head. "What is 1:11? The woman's eyes shone with fear. "It's the time, it seals it," she said. "It's not midnight. Midnight is just bait. People hear countdowns. They think New Year. They come closer. They wait." She pointed at the paper decorations. "Every year it puts on a party, and it takes whoever shows up. People who were tired, people who were drunk, people who took a shortcut." My mouth went dry. "What is it?" I asked.
The man in the suit laughed without humor. "A station that got hungry," he said. "A hole that learned how to wear a calendar." The woman squeezed my wrist harder. "You have to do exactly what I say." I nodded, not trusting my voice. She leaned in close. "When the clock hits midnight in here," she whispered, "it will get loud. The countdown will start again. Everyone will join in. They can't help it. It pulls the words out of your mouth." She looked around at the others, and for the first time I understood something terrible. They weren't celebrating. They were repeating, a loop of desperation dressed up as a holiday. "When it gets loud," she said, "you run for the door. It will open just for a moment. You don't look at anyone in the tunnel. You don't answer anything that sounds like your voice. You run to the platform and you don't stop." My hands were shaking. "And the train?" "You'll hear it," she said, "but you don't look at it. You get on the first door that opens. You sit down. You don't move. You don't speak." I stared at her. "Why are you helping me?" Her smile trembled. "Because someone helped me once, and I didn't make it." The clock ticked loudly. 11:59. The room's air thickened like pressure building before a storm. Someone at the table started to smile, wide, involuntary. "Almost," they whispered. Another person lifted their cup. "Almost." The woman squeezed my wrist one last time and let go. "Ready," she mouthed.
The lights flickered, and the room began to count. Not people deciding to count, the room itself speaking through them. 10, 9, 8. The voices rose, overlapping, filling every corner. The decorations trembled on their strings. My body wanted to join in. My mouth wanted to form the numbers. My tongue tingled with the urge. I bit the inside of my cheek hard enough to taste blood. 7, 6, 5. The door behind me shuddered. The handle turned by itself. The woman's eyes widened. "Go," she breathed. 4, 3. I slammed my shoulder into the door. It burst open into the tunnel, and cold air hit me like a slap. 2, 1. A roar of cheering exploded behind me, as if midnight had cracked the world. I ran. The tunnel was darker than I remembered. The lights were spaced farther apart. The platform seemed farther away. My footsteps crunched on gravel, loud and alone. Behind me, the cheering collapsed into something else, something like a sustained, hungry exhale. My phone buzzed in my pocket, but I didn't look. I ran toward the platform, eyes on the faint glow ahead. As I neared the edge, I saw the man again, still standing at the platform's edge, watching. His head tilted slightly as I approached, as if he was listening to a sound only he could hear. I didn't look at his face. I scrambled up onto the platform, nearly slipping, and sprinted toward the bench, toward the digital sign. The display flickered wildly. Last train, 1:11 a.m., on time. My phone screen lit in my hand, buzzing so hard it felt like it would break. A message appeared. "Say it." I didn't. Another message. "Say, let me in." My stomach dropped because it was the phrase I'd recorded in my phone earlier that week for my building's new access system. I'd said it once alone in my hallway. No one should know that. The man's voice drifted from somewhere near me, soft. "Let me in." It was my voice, perfectly. I stumbled, shock turning my legs weak. The lights on the platform flickered, and for a second I saw shapes standing where there had been none. People in coats, in party hats, faces pale and watching. Then the lights steadied, and the platform was empty again. I heard the train before I saw it, a low rumble deep in the tunnel, growing, real. The digital sign flashed, arriving. The tunnel wind rose, dust lifted. The train came around the curve.
Old metal cars, windows black, paint chipped. It looked like it had been buried and dug up. It slowed, brakes screaming. Doors opened with a hiss. Not all doors, just one, right in front of me. Warm air poured out, stale and human, like breath. I didn't look inside. I didn't think. I stepped in. The moment my foot crossed the threshold, the door slammed shut behind me. The train lurched. It started moving immediately, like it had been waiting, impatient. The car was empty, no seats filled, no passengers, just old fabric seats and dim lights and the smell of dust and something faintly sweet, like cheap champagne. My phone buzzed in my hand one last time. A final message appeared. Welcome home. Then the screen went black. The lights in the train flickered, and in the window across from me, I saw my reflection, only it wasn't doing what I was doing. I was sitting, frozen, hands gripping my dead phone. My reflection was smiling, and behind the smiling reflection, in the dark glass, I saw the platform sliding away. I saw the man standing there, still and patient, and around him, faintly, like a crowd behind thin fog, were dozens of pale faces wearing party hats, all watching the train leave, all smiling like they'd just seen someone else take their place.
I don't know how long I rode that train. Time did not behave. The lights flickered in a rhythm that felt like breathing. The train clattered through tunnels that shouldn't have existed. I saw stations flash by, names I'd never heard, signs in fonts that looked too old, posters for concerts from decades ago. At one station, the doors opened. I smelled fireworks, heard distant cheers, saw decorations in the hallway. A New Year's party waiting. I stayed seated. I didn't move. I didn't speak. The doors hissed shut again. The train kept going. Eventually, it slowed. The lights steadied. The doors opened at a platform that looked almost normal. Clean tile, modern signage, bright lights. I stepped out, shaking, and ran up the stairs. The gate at street level was open. The city above was loud and alive. Cars, people, music from bars. My phone turned on again like nothing had happened. The time read 12:12 a.m. My map app chirped cheerfully. Route complete. I stood on the sidewalk, gasping, watching strangers pass me in winter coats, laughing, carrying champagne, counting down to a midnight I'd already missed. My hands were shaking so badly I could barely type. I texted Miles. On my way, took a weird shortcut, almost got stuck. He replied instantly. Dude, where are you? It's 1:32. I stared at the screen. No. I looked up at the street, at the passing cars, at the decorations. Something was different. The holiday banners in the windows were gone. The lights that had been everywhere were missing. The people weren't wearing party hats. They were wearing ordinary clothes, tired, normal. A bus rolled by with an ad on its side. Happy New Year, January 1st. And the year printed beneath it was not the year I'd said in that break room. It was next year. I felt my stomach drop through the pavement. I texted back, fingers numb. What do you mean it's 1:32? It was 12:12. He didn't reply for a minute. Then, Danny, are you messing with me? You didn't come last year. I waited. I called you all night. Then you changed your number and disappeared. My mouth went dry. I stared at his message until the words blurred. In the reflection of a dark shop window, I saw my own face, pale, eyes too wide. And behind my reflection, for just a second, a faint string of paper letters hung in the air, ghostly and out of place. Happy New Year. Then it was
gone. My phone buzzed, a message from no sender. You made it out. I froze. Another message. But you're still early. I don't take shortcuts anymore. I don't go into stations that aren't on the main map. And every year when winter comes, I check the time obsessively. Because sometimes, when I'm alone on a quiet street and my phone clock hits 1:11, I hear something faint, deep under the city. A train, arriving, on time. And I remember the woman's eyes in that break room, the way she said, "Someone helped me once, and I didn't make it." Think about how many people are still down there, counting down to a midnight that never frees them. And I wonder, with a sickness in my chest, whether the only reason I escaped is because the station needed someone else to take my seat.